tune in later. Anyway, this morning, if you'll just take, again, your fingers and palpate, find that notch right above the top of the breastbone. Find the notch above it, so that's that, and then if you drop from the notch right back onto the top of the sternum, right, the manubrium, we've talked about this bone many times, it's about 3-finger width, the manubrium. And then there's some cartilage, you know, it's 2 or 3 fingers, and then there's some cartilage that attaches it to the rest of the sternum, okay? But I want you to notice, you find that bone, and then can you find how, just pick one of the collarbones, how the collarbone, see the collarbone comes in and it attaches onto that manubrium. So feel that space where your collarbone comes over and meets the manubrium, the breastbone. That's the joint, the sternoclavicular joint, where the sternum and the clavicle meet. Because I want to bring some awareness to this space where the sternum, where the collarbones and the sternum meet. Because sometimes I'm going to say to widen right here, to lift the inner collarbone up. Then we'll just go back and keep walking out the collarbone. Walk out the collarbone so you are reminded how it comes all the way across to the top of the shoulder. It comes all the way across the collarbone, feel the whole thing. It goes all the way across till it hits this little plateau. That's part of your scapula right there. It comes in and joins onto this part of your shoulder blade. And then just take one hand and go over that little plateau and find the spine of your scapula. So you find that ridge that comes across your shoulder blade. And then you go, oh, and then you meet, there's the, you might find that the top of the shoulder blade, that's a little bit higher as the spine comes across, the spine of the scapula. And then you palpate and you go, oh, and there's my space between my spine and my shoulder blade. Okay. And then I can go, oh, and then where's C7, the base of my neck? C7, T1, that great big bone that sticks out. Okay, so you have just an idea of these landmarks. We've gone over them lots of times, so I doubt they're anything, new, but sometimes we need to touch these things to really get them to be awake in our bodies. All right? Okay, cool. And let me just see if there's any questions. Okay. Yeah, no worries about leaving class early, completely fine. All right, so let's go ahead and any questions about palpating that at the moment? You feel like you're like, yeah, I got this, Lynn, we've been over this, I know. Okay, so let's go ahead now and take a comfortable seat. Whatever that looks like for you, how much height you need. Some days we need more height, it depends what we've been doing, but let's go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Rest your hands. Find that connection to the ground. You lengthen your spine. This is an assumption I'm making that you do this, that you always connect to the earth when you take your seat, that you lengthen your spine, and then drop into your breathing. Drop into your Ujjayi breathing and balance the inhale with the exhale. Relaxing the shoulders. Can you make the breath smooth? Can you make your breath smooth on the inhale and also the exhale? Without rushing, at the bottom of your next exhale, go ahead and release any control on your breath. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. We'll chant together the sound of Om and sing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Take a deep inhale. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And with your next exhale, you can bow your head towards your heart. Release your hands and lift your gaze. All right, so please go ahead and come down to the ground. You can, if you want to lie on a blanket to cushion the floor, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to come down to lying on your back with the feet on the floor, this resting pose. And I'd like you to once again drop back into your breathing. So the breath traveling in, and your breath traveling out.
Just, again, beginning that conversation within our own body.
And within our own self. It's nurturing that the deepest courage to be fully here. Fully connected to the way our body connects to the ground, where we feel the body connect to the ground. Where at the back of the head, where at the back of your upper back, where does your pelvis touch the floor, the heels, how does the sole of the foot meet the earth, ball, all 10 toes. And then walk your feet out as wide as your yoga mat. Take the arms wide as well. There's the inhale. And then with the exhale, drop the right knee towards the left big toe. Lengthen out the right thigh. Can you lengthen it all the way from the right lower ribs? Let's inhale, come back, up to center, lifting the right leg up. Exhale, left knee drops down. Left thigh lengthens toward the right big toe. All the way from the left lower ribs. Your next inhale, come back up. The exhale, drop the right one. Your next inhale, lift your right leg. Your exhale, drop the left knee. Inhale, come back up. One more time on each side, at your own pace. Just connecting to your own body, your breath, so that you'll inhale when you're ready and bring it up and switch to the second side. And then when you inhale and lift the left knee, let's walk both feet back to being hip distance. We'll slide the arms down a little bit so they're more at a 45-degree angle. If you need something under the back of the neck, if your chin is higher than the forehead, just give a little height under the back of the head. And then take a deep inhale, and with the exhale, lift your heels, walk the balls of the feet closer to your sit bones. So now we've been working with some strengthening, and I want to work with that now. So with the next exhale, can you wrap that deepest abdominal layer? So really feel your torso, especially between the lower back ribs and the top of the pelvis, connect more to the ground beneath you. When you do that, the next inhale cannot be in the belly. The inhale needs to be in the ribs, in the back of the ribs, because you've got tone in the belly, so you're not soft in the belly right now. And then inhale, lift the legs from the ground. So now you've got the shins parallel. Your exhale, take some toe taps. So right toe comes up, then the left. This is the legs moving. The pelvis is stable. The contact to the ground is steady. And then the next time the left leg comes up, go ahead, dangle the shins. Bring the toes to the ground, the heels, and release. Relax. Enjoy that. Enjoy that letting go. Great. And then one more piece. Let's go back. Right up, legs straight up to the sky. I have my left foot close enough to my body that I can feel my left heel on the ground. Deep inhale, and then with the exhale, as you lower your right leg, the torso is steady, the pelvis is steady. The pelvis isn't tilting. I'm lowering my right leg and my pelvis stays stable. If I can't keep that stable, then I won't lower my leg as much. We'll inhale, lift the leg back to vertical. 2 more times. You're going to exhale. Only lower your leg as long as you can keep the pelvis from moving. You've got the lower ribs also down. And you're just slowly moving the right leg. And then we'll inhale, lift the right leg up. Lower the right foot to the ground. Relax. So when you relax, you would probably feel like you have less connection of the back body to the floor. Then you're going to bring left knee up, left leg straight. Inhale deeply, find the right heel. It helps you connect the torso to the ground. And then exhale, start to lower the left leg. The inhale is when you pick the leg up. And you're doing 2 more. The whole time, pressing into the right heel. And then the next time, the left leg comes up, bring the left foot to the ground and release. Excellent. Great. And then let's go ahead and roll over and use your arms and bring yourself to all fours and take the hands forward for puppy pose. For puppy pose, where the spine is long. And again, you're actively reaching the outer shoulder blades toward the upper arms. The hips are high. They're not, that's it, Jackie. Keep taking the hips back. Yep. Good, good. Yeah. So the arms are very strong here. There's a lot, I'm really connected into the index finger knuckle and all the finger pads. Great. And then we're going to go ahead and walk the hands back. So we're going to go to plank pose. So what I would do, Lise, instead of doing plank pose, because or anybody who's got wrist or elbow issues, I would go back probably and just do some of the abdominal piece again. Give you a substitute for plank. The rest of us are going to go ahead, and you can always go, here you are with the wrists under your shoulders. You look at the hands where the finger bones are lined up with the bones of the hands, and you take the left leg back. So you could do a half kind of plank like this, or go ahead and take both legs back, plank pose. Are your inner thighs toned to the midline of each leg? Where is the base of your skull? And then we're going to exhale, downward facing dog. So if you were lying on your back, doing abdominal work, you might roll over and take puppy. The rest of us are going to take downward dog pose. We might have some tight calves in the room, I bet. All right, so let's go back to, if you're in downward dog and it's okay to go to plank, go to plank. Let's all bring the knees to the ground. Great. And let's grab our blocks for those of us that are going to take downward dog again. If you're doing puppy, you can keep the hands on the ground, or you might stand up and do a little calf stretch as well. That would be fine. The rest of us, because we haven't opened the calves, maybe we're going to take our hands to our blocks, tuck the toes under, and come back up into downward dog. So there we go. All right, in your downward dog pose, as you're actively reaching toward the hands, can you also notice that the inner collarbone is pointing towards the heart? One more deep inhale. And with the next exhale, let's step the left foot forward for a low lunge. So back heel is lifted. We can use our blocks because it allows it a little bit easier to balance the weight in the hips. So let's come up to fingertips. And now, remember the tone and the abdominals that you were using at the beginning of class. So just find a little tone through the front of the torso. As you take your hands away from your blocks, reach back through the right inner thigh and transition yourself upright. You might lift the arms wide. Let's lift the arms up by the ears. And then inhale the arms out. Watch the right inner thigh. It might want to, let go. So keep the right inner thigh toned and start to bow forward. Great. Step back, downward facing dog, or you could step forward to Uttanasana for those of you who maybe aren't taking downward dog pose. Deep inhale, and with the next exhale, step the right foot forward. Find the tone in the belly, which includes the inner thigh of the back leg. That's connected to what's happening through the belly. And then just take the hands away and start to come upright. And when you're ready, you can transition the arms wide or maybe up alongside the ears. Lifting at the top of the breastbone. Where's the base of your skull? Is the back inner thigh still strong? And then we'll inhale the arms back out. Exhale, bow forward. And inhale, step forward. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. So when you inhale halfway, you can always take the blocks forward to help you. So that when you inhale halfway up, can you lift at the top of the breastbone? So the spine is long in this half, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward again. Releasing the back of the head. One more time, inhale halfway. Now go ahead and transition hands to the hips. And inhale all the way up. Exhale your hands back in front of your heart. Yeah, good. Great. All right. So let's inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, forward fold again, Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. And exhale, right foot back. Inhale, upright. Inhale the arms out. Exhale to plank pose. At least, I would just go to puppy or something. I wouldn't even bother with forearm plank. Exhale, let's lightly touch the knees to the ground. And bring your chest to the ground. Elbows toward the body, chest coming down. So you've got your hands along the side ribs, so pull the hands back. And I've been encouraging you to go to the back of the armpit, that junction where the arm folds at the back of the armpit, and lengthen all the way towards your elbows. That should help bring the elbows in. And then, can you broaden at the inner collarbone, from inner collarbone to sternum? You're already in a baby cobra probably. And then exhale, release. Inhale to all fours. Exhale, downward dog or puppy. And enjoy this. Enjoy whether you're a downward dog or puppy, feeling that connection to your body, connection to your breath. Another deep inhale. And with the next exhale, step the right foot forward. So when you step your right foot forward, you can always pull the blocks back. You can use those. Go ahead and make that thoughtful transition to your upright lunge. Lifting through the top of the breastbone. Yeah. Good. Great. And the arms in any position. With the arms overhead, can you point the inner collarbone toward the heart center? When you do that, when the inner collarbone points to the heart, what happens to the arms? Do the arms come up more vertical? Can you feel the arms length through the side body? And then you're gonna inhale, take the arms back out. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, let's step forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale your hands back in front of your heart. So we're going to take this now. In a moment, we're going to go to a revolved low lunge. So that's going to be Pravrita Parsvakonasana. In case you were pondering, you were like, God, what is it? No, I know you weren't. Sorry. I was just doing that. Okay. So, sorry. Oh dear. Sometimes I do feel like I'm talking to myself. Hands in front of the heart, please. I know I'm not, though. Thank you. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, left foot back. Actually, no. Well, yeah, left foot back. Left foot back. So with your left foot back, bring your block closer to your big toe. And bring your right hand up on your hip. So now we're gonna, you've got the left inner thigh toned. You're gonna lengthen through the crown of your skull. And if you bring your felt sense to the right inner collarbone, right where it meets up with the sternum. And can you go ahead and broaden that and roll that inner collarbone back? Roll the right inner collarbone back. Does that bring you into your twist more? And you're strongly reaching from the spine of the scapula on the left side into your left hand. You might stay here, or you might take the right arm and reach it overhead by your ear. And then we'll turn back towards the floor. Move the block out of the way. Inhale, step forward. And exhale, take your right foot back. Move the block closer to the big toe. Left hand up on the hip. Tone that back inner thigh. Weight is balanced in the hips. Felt sense to the inner left collarbone. Can you broaden there and roll that up? And there's your twist toward that bent knee. Deep breathing. And you might add the arm up and over alongside the ear. Great. Yeah. Good. That's it. That's it. And I don't know for sure, Ann Weber, but you might just go to that inner left collarbone again and give it another little roll, just a little towards your throat. Yeah. Good. That's it, Jackie. And there you go. Good. The gaze might come forward, Jackie, towards your left. There goes the base of the skull. That's great. And then turn back towards the ground. Move the block. Inhale, step forward. Great. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. One more time. Inhale, halfway up. Lengthen the front of the spine. the back of the spine. Lift the top of the breastbone. Exhale, forward fold. And we're gonna go ahead and come to the ground. Bring them all the way to the ground. And we're gonna take our blocks end to end, so lengthwise. Put them on your mat. We're gonna take like that flying salabhasana. So if you'll take one of your blankets, fold it lengthwise, and put that on top of your block. It kind of depends. If you have like cork blocks, it's nice to have maybe one more blanket to pad this. All right, then we're gonna lie over. Is this making sense about this inner collarbone? Because you're gonna do it right now in salabhasana. So when you find that, okay, where is this place? Where is my inner collarbone? Okay, sternum.
Lynn, I don't get where it is. If you can go over it again, please.
Yeah. So you're just where the collarbone is meeting your sternum. Find where the collarbone meets the sternum. Where's the manubrium? Where's how that collarbone comes in? So in a moment, when you take salabhasana, I want you to place your attention here, and you're gonna widen that. You're gonna widen it. You'll feel it happen when you widen this. You're gonna feel a movement between the arms and the upper back. You're gonna widen it there and roll it. Widen it and roll it up. Let's try it, okay? So you're gonna come down and lie over the top of these blocks so that I have the blocks hitting probably right about the bra line. Let's pull that the hands back a little. And we'll keep the knees down to start. Let's keep the knees and the tops of the feet on the ground. And then start to take the arms. Take them out. They don't need to be right by the sides, but palms facing toward your body. And then go to that inner collarbone. Widen it and roll it up. And then release and rest. When you rest, you can just rest. You can have the elbows on the ground and rest the forehead, whatever is comfortable resting for you. Okay, we're going to take another one. We'll bring the hands on the ground, just lightly. This time I'm going to tuck my toes under, because I'm going to really find the inner thigh. I'm going to tone the inner thigh. And then I'm going to start to lift the top of the breastbone, widen at that inner collarbone, and reach the arms back. And I might lift my feet. And release. Rest again. So there's the upper back. There will be some effort in the upper back. The inner thighs. Let's do one more. Hands come down, just lightly touching the ground. I'm going to tuck my toes under, find my breath. And with the exhale, lift the top of the breastbone, lift the legs, and then start to broaden across from the sternum and that inner collarbone. Broaden it, widen. And then we'll lower. We'll take the hands and knees down. push yourself up and back to take child's pose. You can use your prop to support the forehead. All right, great. And then walk yourself back. Okay, while we're down here, let's take one more upper back opener. So if I take my blanket, like it is when we used to have it on the shelf, I'm going to take another blanket on top of that. Same. And I'm going to roll those two blankets up. I'll tilt this down so you can see better. So I've got those two blankets stacked. And then I'm gonna make a big roll out of them. Now for some of you, you might like even another blanket there. So I'm making a roll out of that. All right. I want to know where one of my blocks, I'm gonna use one of my blocks. And then some of you, especially if you don't have any neck issues, you might like 3 blankets rolled like that. Then I'm going to sit in front of this. And I'm going to bring shoulder blades onto this. This is rolled really firmly, so it's not smushy. I'm going to take the block into the pelvis, hands behind my head. And then I'm going to start to come back over this. So when I do, my head does find the ground. This is why I actually like it with one more blanket. But some of you with neck issues probably like just 2. And then I'm going to take my arms and reach them towards Diego. No, I'm going to reach the palms toward the sky. I'm going to take my hands about as wide as my yoga mat. And I'm going to lift at the top of the breastbone. Roll the collarbones up. And I can really feel like, oh yeah, there's more space for me. And you can, if you feel like, oh, I want one more blanket, go ahead. Go ahead and roll one more blanket into your little stack. We'll wait for you. We're all lifting at the top of the breastbone. We're lifting the upper collarbones, the upper inner collarbone. And then we're going to take the hands back. I'm going to pick up my pelvis, take my block out of the way, bring my pelvis to the ground, hands behind my head. And then chin to the chest. Reach one leg forward and come back up to sitting. All right. And then I'm going to move that out of the way. Take either puppy or downward facing dog. I'm not rolling. When I'm in downward facing dog or puppy pose, there's more of that. I'm not lifting those inner collarbones up. I'm actually letting them
roll down a little because I want to be broad across my upper back in those poses, downward dog or puppy. And then if you're in downward dog, let's walk your hands towards your feet. If you're in puppy, go ahead, walk the hands back, come up to standing. Then we'll all come up to standing, arms overhead. And hands back in front of the heart.
Any questions about the movement? Are you getting a little better sense of the movement at the top of the breastbone? Let me see if I can see you shake your head. I can't even see your heads. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so let's turn this into warrior one, all right? So that when we take warrior one, we're gonna, again, the manubrium and those inner collarbones, we're gonna want to roll upward, all right? So with warrior one, let's go ahead and step your right foot back. You're stepping the right foot back. So the pelvis is pointing straight ahead. The back foot can have a slight turn out. I'm gonna go a little longer with my stance. Typically I find with warrior one, my stance is too short and I need to make it longer. So just check in with yourself. And now we're gonna inhale, lift both arms. And exhale, bend the front knee. So right back inner thighs toned. Can you find top of the breastbone? Good, and can you roll those inner collarbones up? You might lift the gaze up. And then we'll straighten the front leg, release the arms, and step forward. Second side. Step your left leg back. Straight back so that the pelvis, so the feet are hip distance wide. So you're able to point the pelvis straight ahead. The back foot can have a slight turnout. So you might, Tina, just go a little wider with the feet, as in from left to right. There you go. That's going to let you bring the left pelvis forward a little. Yeah, like that. Great. Good. Okay. And maybe Carol Morris, bring the left foot a little wider on your mat. Take it to your left a little farther. Yeah. And now, can you turn your pelvis to face forward? Yeah. Yes. Great. All right. So let's go ahead and inhale, lift both arms. That's it. Now, find your breath. And as you bend your front knee, lift at the top of your breastbone. The right shin comes forward, but you're lifting at the top of the breastbone. And can you take those collarbones and right at the inner collarbones and roll them up? That's it. Keep going, Carol. Keep going. Keep reaching, Carol. Reach your arms up to the sky. Reach them all the way up, Carol Morris. Come on, go. Do it. Do it. Lisa, oh, Lisa, that looks really nice. It looks really beautiful. I love looking at the line through the back of your body. Beautiful, wonderful, Pat. Good. Good, everyone. Great. Strong on the back leg. You feel the connection of the back inner thigh. Can you still feel, is the left arm reaching as much as the right? Good. And then we'll take the arms out and step forward. Jackie, nice. Really good. Yeah. Yeah, so this pose becomes one that I could never, for me, it's a pose that I always, I didn't quite understand it, I think. And I would often feel some compression in my lumbar spine. And I've learned so much about how my inner thigh, I needed that more, how to reach up, how to find more length in my body. So I wasn't completely compressing and shortening. So beautiful. From that, let's go to a twist. Let's come to the ground. And let's sit on one of your blocks on the lowest setting. And we'll need probably, for some of us who hyperextend our knees, that I would be in that category, I might need a blanket under my straight leg. So we're gonna sit on the block. Let's take the right leg straight. So I put a little lift under my right knee so that that's straight but not hyperextended. And then left foot on the ground. We might need our second block or something off to your left side. Yeah. So before we go into this, let me say, the two collarbones in this, they're going to be doing opposite things. When we turn towards your left, the left one on the inner is going to roll up, but the right one is going to roll down. So let's try it. So go ahead and bring left hand behind you, and the right hand can either be just the hand to the outer knee, or maybe the elbow to the outer knee. So now, can you go ahead and lift the left inner collarbone, roll it up. The right one's gonna roll a little down. The left one's gonna roll a little up. And then we'll exhale and come back to center. Switch sides. Left leg straight, right foot on the ground. You might need something behind you. You might not. It kind of depends on the length of your arms and your torso, that whole relationship. But when you're ready, take your right hand behind you and the left, either hugging the knee, hand to the knee, whatever works for you. Maybe the outer elbow. And then felt sense, awareness right into the right inner collarbone. Roll it up as you're turning to the right. And then we'll exhale and come back to center. Great. Let's go ahead and come off of your block. We'll straighten both legs and just give a little rub to both knees. All right, great. Okay, I want to take probably those two rolled up blankets if they're still available, and I'm going to use them for Supta Padangusthasana. In other words, we'll have our strap, and let's make a little loop in the strap because we're going to do hand to foot pose. So a loop in your strap, whatever that needs to be. So if I have a bolster, I'll use a bolster. Otherwise, I've got my two blankets rolled together so that when I lie down, I'm going to
snug these two blankets under my, just right in close to my left outer hip. So that those two blankets are gonna be under my left outer hip when I move my leg out. They're gonna be supporting that. So it'll be easier for me to keep my pelvis level. So when you lie on your back, you're gonna bring your left foot up. And both arms straight, or if you're just using the left arm straight, snug that support under your left outer hip bone. So it's kind of at an angle there. We're at vertical. Let's take the right leg long on the ground. And with your next exhale, take the left leg towards the left. It should find the outer hip should find the support beneath it. It'll be easier to keep your pelvis level and to find some opening through the hip itself. So pelvis is stable. This is just the leg moving. The other thing I noticed by having some support under my left outer leg is I can more easily lengthen through the left inner thigh. I feel more sensation at the left inner thigh or the back of my left inner hamstring. And then let's inhale and lift the left leg up. We'll switch hands on the strap. So the right hand takes the strap, left arm out to the side. And with your exhale, keeping the left side of the sacrum on the ground, start to bring your left leg either just a little towards midline, maybe a little across. Doesn't need to be extreme, but I'd love you to have your knee straight. No little bends in the knees. Open the back of the knee joint. And then we're going to inhale, come back to vertical. Sometimes I use both hands at vertical. All right, great. And then we'll bend this knee. Take the strap off and either move your body or move your prop over to the other side. And just snug it in close. You know, it's at an angle. It's kind of at a little 40-degree angle in order for it to fit underneath that outer hip. And then you're going to bring right foot up and take a vertical, left leg long.
Oh, you're still going.
And then let's take the strap in the right arm and the left arm out to the side. Strap in the right arm. There you go. Yeah. And yeah, so you have that support underneath the outer hip. And you might notice that actually, as you keep lengthening, the right foot might come slightly closer toward the face. Might come slightly closer toward the face. Good. This is the right leg out to the right. Yeah. Breathing. And then let's bring the right leg back to vertical. All right, let's switch your hands on your strap. So left arm out to this, right arm out to the side. And then when you're ready, you start to cross the right leg just toward midline, maybe slightly across midline. The right side of the sacrum is still on the ground. The right side of the sacrum still finds the earth. And the knee is straight. Great. And then let's come back to vertical, visit vertical. Great, and then we'll bend that knee and take the strap off. And then I'm going to have you roll over to one side and push yourself up so I can show you the setup for this next one. On this next pose, I want to do Baddha Konasana, but reclined. I'm going to take my two blocks like we had them earlier, end to end, on my mat. And then I'm going to take my two blankets rolled up. I just have to make my roll a little better again. And sit that up there. Now, if I had a bolster, I would probably take a folded blanket on my blocks, another folded blanket, and a bolster. In fact, I am actually going to take 3 blankets here because I don't have a bolster here in my office. I use my bolster at home. I'm going to take 3 blankets, and I'm going to see if when I roll them up and stack them on my blocks, da-da. Okay, I'm going to try that. And let's see, my strap. I'm not going to worry about the loop. I'm going to use the tail. And when I lie down, I'm going to be close to this stack. I'm going to take my strap just around my outer feet. I'm going to put my feet up there, and I'm going to just wrap the strap around my wrist for a few moments and just rest here. But I like the heels to be quite high. The strap is just helping to hold my feet together while I relax through the inner thigh and the knees. And in this one, Lise, in this one, can you broaden at the outer knee? Think about the outer knee getting a little more spacious. So you might feel just a little tone at the very inner knee piece. All right, and then we'll lift the knees toward each other, take the strap off, and go ahead and you can lengthen your thighs over your little stack. If your stack is too high and the heels don't touch the ground, you can always change that. We're just gonna rest for a moment. This might be, this is pretty good. This could be where you decide to stay for Shavasana. Because we're going to take Shavasana and then I want to do a pranayama with a little meditation at the end. So you could be in this position or you might have another position that you would like better. And you're welcome to take that other position if something else would feel more nurturing, more restful. Sometimes I like just putting my legs up on the blankets, like the legs on the patio. That feels pretty good. Then you're going to allow your breath to deepen. And just begin to awaken your body to movement. And then make a mindful transition to one side. Take your time to come back up to a comfortable seat for pranayama. So the pranayama that we're going to do this morning is going to be sitali, the where we're cooling the body by bringing the air in across either the tongue or the outer teeth. So if you're able to roll the tongue, then you'll be bringing the air in that way. And if rolling the tongue, if you don't have that genetic piece, then you'll be taking the tongue behind the teeth and you're pulling the air in along the sides of the teeth. So whichever method you're doing, the breath is going to come in through the mouth. There'll be the pause at the top and then back out both nostrils. So you can begin when you're ready. Balance the inhale and the exhale. There's no hurry, but at the end of your next exhale, you can release any control on your breath. And you're welcome to bring the attention to the air as it enters both nostrils. And you can notice which nostril does the air seem to be traveling through more easily. Put your attention there for the next few moments. And then draw your attention to the nostril that seems to be less air passing through. Put your focus on that nostril. Back to the attention on both nostrils. And then draw your attention to where the air becomes one at the back of the nostrils. And you can also raise your awareness to the third eye, which is a couple inches deep in the skull, just above the eyebrows, but in the skull itself. And you might also let your attention rise just a little bit higher, maybe just above your skull. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. If you have a question about the pranayama, you're welcome to ask that